capital of Denmark for Glory 40 Copenhagen. There's bad blood over the middleweight title as Canadian ex-champion Simon Marcus comes to reclaim the belt from Jason Psycho Wilness. Wilness's knockout victory over Marcus at Glory 33 shocked the world and handed the dangerous Dutchman the belt. Marcus beat Dustin Jacoby at Glory 34, but since then he's had to wait and watch as Wilness successfully defended the title against Israel Adesanya at Glory 37. Now Marcus's time has come, and he's back for the belt and seeking revenge. Plus, 4 middleweights collide in a contender tournament. Brazilian beast Alex Pereira makes his long-awaited return to the Glory ring against Scandinavian rising star Burim Rama. And Tunisian giant Yuzi Belgarwi goes head-to-head with Glory debutant Agran Pratini of Croatia. And tonight, a lightweight clash featuring hometown hero and number 6 ranked Nicholas Larson facing off against the hard-hitting 3rd ranked Thai Yukampon Sitmonchai. Hold on to your seat, it's Glory 40 Copenhagen. Glory Kickboxing is back in the capital city of Denmark tonight for Glory 40 Copenhagen, a 4-man middleweight contender tournament. In the first semifinal, Tunisia's Yusuri Belgarwi meets Croatian newcomer Agran Pratini. Brazil's Alex Pereira knows how to win tournaments, considering he's already done it once in Glory. Tonight, he faces Sweden's Buri Rama in the second semifinal. The 2 semifinal winners will then face off in the tournament championship. The winner walks away with a title shot, and the inspirational story of Nicholas Larson continues tonight in his hometown of Copenhagen as he faces Thai champion Yukampon Sitmonchai in lightweight action. Middleweight champion Jason Wilness headlines tonight's card as he puts his title on the line in a trilogy match against his bitter rival Simon Marcus. These two absolutely loathe one another, and we could be in store for a fight of the year contender. This is Glory 40 Copenhagen. And we are live in Viking country. I want to say hello and thank you to those of you watching in America on ESPN2, and for the rest of you around the world watching on ESPN3 in over 170 countries, alongside my broadcast partner, as always, former welterweight champion Joseph Valtellini. What a main event we have tonight.
Yeah, this is the trilogy fight, and this 3rd fight is more important than the other 2. They're both one apiece, and both have bad blood for each other, so it makes this fight extra interesting to watch.
If you like middleweights, you've come to the right place, because 5 of the top 7 middleweights in the world today will be in action here in Copenhagen.
Yeah, we may have a new champion, and we're going to have a new #1 contender tonight, so a lot riding in that middleweight division.
Let's revisit Jason Wilness versus Simon Marcus. This will be their trilogy. Their first fight went to Simon Marcus.
Yeah, and Simon Marcus really stuck to his basics, but that was a tournament format, and Jason Wilness felt that he had the harder fight in the semifinals. So they had the rematch at Glory 33, New Jersey, where Simon Marcus looked very promising in the early 2 rounds, but then Jason Wilness was able to find his punches, attack the body, and showboating from Simon Marcus caused him to get knocked out and gave Jason Wilness the title.
What a performance by Jason Wilness. He vows to do the exact same thing again tonight. And let me tell you something, a lot of fighters will claim that they don't like each other just to hype themselves up and to hype the fight up. But I promise you this, tonight, the hate is real.
In Los Angeles, I was fighting the title defense, and he was talking and shouting a lot when I was fighting, and he came into the ring like I wanna dare you or something, but yeah, he has a big mouth, and he's not in the position to have that.
Sure, he can be upset, he can make it personal, he can try to hurt me. At the end of the day, we're gonna fight, we're gonna get in the ring, we're both gonna fight, so say what you want, act how you want, but at the end of the day, he's gonna have to fight me like a man, and I'm gonna kick his ass.
Now, those interviews were held before yesterday's weigh-in, and there we almost had an all-out brawl between the two fighters, so they've gotten even more mad at each other, and they will settle their score tonight. A lot of sports have keys to victory. Bazooka Joe, we want your keys to glory. Give them to us.
Well, I'm going to start with Jason Wilness, the champion. He needs to control the center of the ring. He needs to get Simon Marcus against the ropes, look to land his power punch and his low kicks. He can't let Simon gain momentum. He needs to counter back right away and look to be first and more active.
What about the challenger?
Well, Simon Marcus has to fight more similar to the way he did at Glory 20, stick to his Muay Thai roots. He needs to keep Jason Wilness at distance, look to fight on the outside, and he found a lot of success with his left kick and his left knee. And most importantly, he needs to control his emotions.
That fight will determine who the middleweight champion is. Our contender tournament will determine who fights him next.
Well, looking at this tournament format, the two favorites have to be Yusri Belgari and Alex Pereira, but let me tell you, don't count out Preteni and Rama.
You've got to win 2 fights in one night, and if you do it, you get a shot at the championship of the world. One more fight to touch on, and that features Copenhagen's own Nicholas Larson, and he's standing by backstage with Whitney Miller.
I'm standing backstage with Nicholas Larson. Nicholas, you've had a horrendous few years in your life, even coming close to losing your leg. Was there ever a time that you thought you might not step back into the glory ring?
I didn't think about stopping. Kickboxing is everything for me, so the hard part was just to learn how to walk again. I couldn't accept that I needed to learn that and not fight right away. So that was the biggest step for me, to learn to walk again, and now, you know, yeah, I'm back on track. I learned to walk, and yeah, I'm back on the big scene, so it's amazing.
You're known as a tricky fighter. Are we gonna get lucky tonight and see anything crazy?
You know, I'm not predicting everything, but you know, I'm feeling that I can, if I find the right reason, if I can say it like that, I'm gonna make a tricky move or 2 or 10. Yeah.
All right, well, good luck tonight. The semifinals are up next.
His career highlights include notable wins over Andrei Stoica in Moscow and Zagreb. Making his glory debut tonight, here's Agron Preteni.
Agron Preteni, not one of the favorites to advance in this tournament, but you certainly can't count him out, can you, Joe?
No, he is very powerful, and good power fighters always have a chance, but he does have impressive wins on his record. He was able to beat Glory veteran Andrei Stoica 2 times. He does have a TKO loss to Pavel Zuralev, but that just shows his level and his ability to fight the highest ranked fighters.
26 professional fights for Preteni, and only 4 losses, 6 of his wins coming by way of knockout.
Half of his professional career wins have come by knockout. He'll make his 3rd glory start here in Denmark. Please welcome Yusri Belgari.
When you're 6 feet 6 inches tall, Joe, you're either a heavyweight or a light heavyweight. You're not supposed to be a middleweight.
No, and that's what makes him very difficult to hit, is because he's so tall, and he's been known for his kicks and knees, and once he started working at Mike's gym with Big Mike, he was able to develop his boxing a little bit more, which you've seen in his glory debut at Glory 34 Denver, where he was able to get a unanimous decision win over Ariel Machado, but just fell short to Israel Adesanya in the finals.
He fights out of Mike's gym, one of the best kickboxing gyms in the world, led by, of course, Mike Passinier, Badr Hari, Gohan Saki. Some of the biggest names in all kickboxing come from Mike's gym.
Big Mike gave me a t-shirt yesterday, so I'm excited to rock that one too.
It doesn't take much to please you, does it? It's now time for our tale of the tape. Belgari versus Preteni, Tunisia versus Croatia. 24-year-old versus a 26-year-old, and look at the reach advantage, 6 inches for Belgarwi, who stands 6'5" tall.
And that's going to be, I think, the biggest thing of this fight is that reach and height advantage of Belgarwi. According to their professional fights, both very similar, both with a good win percentage. So let's see who has the advantage, the pressure fighter or the long style of fighting of Belgarwi.
Here are the Glory rules as far as tournament structure goes. 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. Punches, kicks, and knees are legal strikes. 2 knockdowns in a round, or 3 in the fight, and it's TKO.
And tonight in Copenhagen, 5 judges will be scoring the bout using the 10-point must system. Scoring is based on knockdowns, damage, clean scoring strikes with an emphasis on spectacular techniques. Finally, if there's no clear advantage, the judges are looking at aggressiveness.
Go Austin, Copenhagen! The world's great kickboxers will draw upon the Scandinavian Viking spirit here in Denmark, complete with a 4-man middleweight contender tournament and a 5-round grudge match for the middleweight championship of the world. All of our bouts tonight sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association. By Ron Korkmaz is with us ringside. Forum Copenhagen, are you ready for glory? We begin with the first of 2 semifinals scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, this world and European champion is a winner of 5 of his last 6 bouts. His professional record, 21 wins with 4 losses, 1 draw, 6 of those wins by knockout. At 5 feet, 11 1/2 inches, 1.82 meters. He weighed in at 186 1/2 pounds, 84.6 kilos. He's here tonight in Copenhagen, fighting out of Split, Croatia. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Agron Preteni. His opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, made his debut at Glory 34 in the Denver Contender Tournament. His record, 20 wins with 3 losses, 10 of those wins by knockout. Standing 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.96 meters. He weighed in at 186 1/2 pounds, 84.6 kilos. Fighting out of Tunisia by way of the Netherlands, here is Yusri, the babyface ninja, Belgarwi. And the man in charge of the Glory ring is Paul Nichols.
You understand the rules that you're fighting to, gentlemen. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you like. Break. Judge, 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 judge.
The baby-faced ninja, Yusuri Belgarwi, wearing the white gloves. Agron Preteni from Croatia wearing the black.
Like I said earlier, it's going to be about the length and reach of Belgarwi versus the pressure fighting of Preteni. So let's see if Preteni can get on the inside, use some of his power punches and low kicks.
Doesn't take a genius to tell you that Preteni has to get inside, get around those long arms of Belgarwi. And Preteni trained and worked for a taller opponent, because if he were to beat Belgarwi and perhaps face Pereira in the final, that's another guy who's 6'4". So Preteni's going to be looking up a lot tonight.
Well, I bet you with his professional careers, he's probably most often the shorter fighter, so something that he's used to.
This is the second time Belgarwi has been in a tournament. The last one, he was knocked out in a very close decision by Israel Adesanya, who would win that tournament and challenge for the middleweight title.
And Belgarwi only has 3 losses on his professional record, and 2 of those are from Adesanya. And he still feels in those 2 fights that he had the best of Adesanya. So a 3rd fight could be in the works.
Belgarwi, only 24 years old. The future is bright. Going for the head kick there, but it grazed off the glove of Preteni.
Belgarwi throwing good low kicks of his own.
Todd Grisham and Joseph Valtellini here ringside. We're in Copenhagen, Denmark for Glory 40.
And it's Belgari, the taller fighter, doing the advantage with the low kicks. But both are landing very successful with the right low kick.
One thing about when you fight a taller fighter, there's a lot of real estate to work with. Go to the legs, go to the body. You don't have to go to the head all the time.
Nope, good point, Todd. That's why Preteni does need to hit the body, because that head is way up. By hitting the body, it brings the head down. Makes it easier to get those punch knockouts to the head.
Belgarwi grew up in North Amsterdam. Said he was in a low opportunity neighborhood, always skinny as a kid. People picked on him, so he said he had to fight all the time. And finally, his mom bought him a gym membership at the age of 16, and he hasn't stopped fighting since. 8 years he's been in the gym. Preteni, on the other hand, said there was no particular reason I got into kickboxing, just kind of happened. I liked watching it on TV, and I was pretty good at it.
It's always interesting to see fighters all over the world and how they got to this ring. But Belgari's doing a great job at staying active and fighting on the outside.
And a flying knee there from Belgarwi.
Does need to respect the punching power of Preteni.
Round one in the books here from Copenhagen. If you're just watching Glory Kickboxing for the first time, here's more information on our tournament format tonight. It's a night of middleweight mania at Glory 40 Copenhagen with the title fight in the middleweight contender tournament. 4 fighters lock horns and go through 2 fights in one night to win a shot at the belt. Tonight, the Tunisian giant Yusuri Belgarwi fires off against Agran Preteni of Croatia. Belgarwi narrowly missed a title shot at Glory 34, losing a split decision to Israel Adesanya, and will be looking to make amends. And the winner of the first contender tournament, Glory 14 Zagreb, returns to the ring. Brazilian beast Alex Pereira makes his long-awaited Glory comeback against Burim Rama of Sweden. Pereira has aggression by the bucket load, but Belgarwi is a dark horse. And in a Glory contender tournament, anything can happen. 4 men, 1 victor. It's the middleweight contender tournament at Glory 40 Copenhagen. Fight! Round 2 in our opening semifinal in our middleweight contender tournament. You win this fight, you're fighting again in about 30 minutes from now. So it's a chemistry act. Do you balance saving your energy? Do you exude a lot of it now? What decisions do you make when you're in there?
Well, you have to look at it. If you don't win the first fight, there's no second fight, so you have to do what it takes to win this first fight. Whether you have to go to war or you have to stay technical, but you have to win the first fight, whatever that means to you.
How did you score round 1, Joe?
Round 1 definitely goes to Belgarwi, being more active, mixing up his strikes. He's getting the better of the low kicks, and he's getting better of the active combinations. Preteni does need to be more active. He needs to counter back a little bit more, and like you mentioned, hit that body.
That was the trainer for Yusuri Belgarwi, Mike Passanier, a true legend in kickboxing. Has trained some of the absolute best kickboxers. And he's pretty confident Yusuri Belgarwi is a future champion. He can take a big step tonight with a win here.
He's trying to finish this fight with those knees.
And there may be an injury. He's turned his back on his opponent. Paul Nichols says, get away, neutral corner.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, fight!
So now Belgarwi will go in for the kill. Preteni knows it's desperation time as he throws some bombs here. And even if he wins this fight, Joe, how much is going to be left of him later tonight?
Depends how much damage that knee did, but it looked like Belgarwi may have hit the knee on that caused the most damage and not on the thigh.
Maybe some bone-to-bone contact, shin on knee. Can imagine how that would feel. Another nice low kick from Belgarwi.
Now he's putting the focus on the low kick. That's when he has to mix up different strikes, and good job at changing levels with that kick. But mixing those knees again, then go back to those kicks.
The left hand caught Belgarwi coming in. And at this point, if you're Belgawi, do you think, hey, I've kind of got this thing wrapped up. Preteni can't touch me. Do you go a little more conservative?
Well, maybe not conservative, but if I'm Belgawi, I'm staying long. I'm using straight punches. I'm establishing my jab and my low kick. I don't need to get into close range exchanges.
And again, Preteni turns his back on Belgawi and eats a leg kick.
And at this point, once you have a fighter's legs hurts, that's why it's one of my favorite weapons. You really shut down the output of your opponent. So this is why Preteni's having a hard time throwing anything.
Big knee right up Route 1 for Belgawi. The baby-faced ninja looking pretty good here in the opening 2 rounds of Glory 40 Copenhagen.
Let's take a look at some of those highlights from the first round. And it was all Belgawi staying active, and that was the block. It looked like Preteni was trying to block the low kick. And that's where it hit the knee and did a lot of damage. And sorry, round 2. There he goes, turning his back. He can't turn his back. So Belgawi continued to push the pace and continues to go for those low kicks.
Boy, Preteni was pretty brave just to put his hands by his waist and walk that off, with Belgawi saying, hey, look, defend yourself at all times. I'm going to light you up. Belgawi from Tunisia, fighting out of Amsterdam, so they are speaking Dutch in his corner. Both of them actually speak very good English. And Belgawi has what many consider to be some model looks. He's on our gloryshop.com webpage wearing all the gear, but he says, listen, I don't want to be a model. I don't want to be a movie star. I want to be a world champion kickboxer. That's all I'm worried about. Round 3 of a scheduled 3 here in the middleweight division. Belgawi wearing the white gloves. He's 6 inches taller than Agron Preteni, and that has been one of the big stories in this fight.
Yeah, it's Belgawi using that jab. I love when he's using that jab follow low kick, because Preteni doesn't have an answer. He's just sitting on the outside, too comfortable, just blocking.
So what are you telling Preteni in the corner between round 2 and 3?
Pressure. You gotta go in, you gotta stand your ground, you gotta throw something. He's waiting too long. He's letting Belgawi gain momentum with those punches and his low kicks. He needs the pressure, he needs to throw something.
You can see the redness on the outside of Preteni's left leg. Low kick after low kick being landed by Belgawi.
For a split second, it looked like Preteni was gonna go southpaw. Try to avoid some of those low kicks.
So 3 rounds here for Belgawi and Preteni. The winner advances to the finals of our middleweight tournament later tonight, and that fight will be scheduled for 3 rounds as well. Outside of the right leg again for Belgawi.
It's straight punches. Belgawi's doing a good job. Everything is straight. It makes it hard for Preteni to come in if he has to go through straight punches. That's what Preteni needs to do. Stay in there. If he's going to take a low kick, at least take one and counter back with something.
Just over a minute to go here for Agron Preteni to find some sort of magic. And by magic, I mean a huge right hand. That is considered a sweep, not an official knockdown.
He had kicked the bottom leg out.
Another knee. They've landed pretty much when Belgawi throws them. I'm not sure Preteni can actually land a knee to Belgawi's face. It's too high up there, is it not?
Well, it's really hard to land anything right now because the front leg's damaged.
Not to mention the knee. There's redness. He took an 8 count earlier after being hit right on the kneecap.
Belgawi definitely slowed down knowing that he's winning this fight.
And a right hand from Belgawi backs the Croatian up to the ropes here. And a very fine performance by Belgawi in our opening bout.
Just showed a lot of growth as a martial artist and a kickboxer. He stayed patient, he didn't get overly aggressive, and stuck to the game plan.
Preteni simply overmatched here tonight. Belgarwi not only got the win, but he didn't appear to suffer much damage at all.
No, he did well. He fought the perfect fight. He kept Preteni at bay, used good low kicks, suffered no damage, so he's fresh for the finals.
Who's headed to the finals? As if we don't know, but the official decision is coming your way next. Still to come later tonight in our main event, Jason Wilness, seen right here, will put his middleweight championship of the world on the line. It's the third fight in a trilogy with that man, Simon Marcus, who is full of energy, full of anger, and full of confidence. Let's take a closer look now at Glory's rules.
Glory Kickboxing is the most action-packed fight sport on the planet. Legal strikes are punches, kicks, and knees. Regular bouts are 3 rounds. Championship bouts are 5, and each round is 3 minutes of action. Outfight your opponent for 10-9. Knock them down for 10-8. In a normal bout or tournament final, 3 knockdowns in 1 round or 4 in the entire bout, and the fight is over by TKO. In a tournament semi, 2 knockdowns in 1 round or 3 in the entire bout, and it's all over. Or you can just knock your opponent out. Sweeps, elbows, and grappling are not allowed. Clinching is okay if you follow up with a knee. Glory rules are designed to bring non-stop, fast-paced stand-up action. To find out more, go to glorykickboxing.com.
May 20th, live from the Probenthal in Den Bosch, it's Glory 41 Holland. High power from the high towers in a heavyweight contender tournament featuring American knockout monster Xavier Vigny and experienced Brazilian Anderson Silva. Furious featherweights and the grudge match between Chai Lewis Perry and Hesty Gerges. Glory 41 Holland, live from the Probenthal in Den Bosch, May 20th. Don't miss it. Go to gloryshop.com now for the latest in all Glory gear, including Hayabusa training gloves, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, you name it, it'll say Glory, and you can find it now at gloryshop.com. We're back here on ESPN2 in the United States. Here are our opening highlights from our first bout of the evening.
Yeah, and this fight was all about that long reach of Belgarwi. He was able to keep Preteni at the end of his punches, land very good low kicks, and in that second round, he was able to score a nice knockdown via low kicks, and he continued to use straight punches and low kicks, and Preteni didn't have an answer to that reach. He tried coming in a few times, but it just shows the development of Belgarwi being able to stay patient, keep his distance, and fight his fight.
Here are the total strike stats. Punches lean towards the Croatian, but other than that, it was all about Yusuri Belgarwi. Strikes absorbed 27 shots for the Tunisian. Keep that in mind. He does fight again later tonight if he wins. Let's make it official with Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 tournament rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 5 of our ringside judges score the bout the same, 30-26, a unanimous decision for your winner, who now advances to the tournament final, Yusri Belgarwi.
He's one step closer to a shot at the middleweight championship of the world. Win one more time tonight, and he's on his way. Joe, you've been in tournaments before. What's the strategy now for him as he waits for his next fight?
Well, most people have different approaches, but I like to stay active and not really sit down. You don't want the swelling and the pooling of the blood to go to your feet. So if I were him, I'd stay light, shadow box, and if he's gonna sit down and take little breaks, but don't overdo it.
Keep warm, says Bazooka Joe. So Yusuri Belgari advances to the final. Who will he face? Alex Pereira or Burim Rama? That's our second semifinal, and it's coming up next. Still to come, favorite son from Copenhagen, Nicholas Larsson, returns and looks for his second win in 3 months as he faces one of the best Muay Thai fighters in the world today, the heavy-handed Yukon Pon. But first, it's our second semifinal as Brazilian Alex Putan Pereira looks to challenge for the middleweight title, but to do so, he has to get past Sweden's Burim Rama. The winner faces off with Belgari later tonight.
To the other half of the tournament bracket. He picked up a win at the undercard here in Copenhagen 1 year ago. Here comes Burim Rama.
Burim Rama fighting out of Sweden. He's an underdog in this fight. How does he win, Joe?
Well, he has to not give Alex Pereira too much respect. He needs to go in there, test out the hands of Pereira, because that's Pereira's best weapon. But Rama does come from a boxing background, and he was boxing since the age of 10 and has a big career in martial arts, so that experience could help him out in this fight.
As an amateur, he became a Pan-American champion and now has shown great promise as a pro. Last appeared at Glory 20 in Dubai. Here's Alex Pereira.
Alex Pereira, nicknamed Poatan, which is a traditional name among the native Indians of Brazil. It reflects Pereira's pride in being descended from one of those tribes. And he wears his heart on his sleeve, a very emotional fighter, Joe.
He's a very emotional and a great boxer, and that's why he is very dangerous. He's got a lot of good knockout power in his boxing. He was able to knock out Dustin Jacoby. He was able to fight the top in the division. He has a fight against Artem Levin, and his last fight in Glory was against current champion Jason Wilness, where he suffered a loss by decision.
We asked him if he had anything interesting about himself, or one of the most interesting things about himself, and he said, well, I'm scared of the dark. So hopefully he doesn't have his lights turned out tonight by his opponent, Burim Rama. We welcome you back. Here's our tail of the tape for our second semifinal in tonight's middleweight tournament. Alex Pereira from Brazil faces Burim Rama out of Sweden. The winner of this fight fights again later tonight against Yusuri Belgari, who just won a few moments ago. Tail of the tape, all the edges, at least as far as height and reach, go to the Brazilian. He has fought in Glory before. 4 fights, 1 knockout. This is the Glory debut for Rama.
We now go to the other half of the tournament bracket in about scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner, an IFMA World and European bronze medalist. His professional record, 37 wins with 14 losses, 1 bout scored even, 15 of those wins by knockout. At 6 feet 2 inches tall, 1.87 meters, he weighed in at 184.5 pounds, 83.8 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Kristianstad, Sweden. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Burim Rama. His opponent fighting out of the white corner is a Glory Contender Tournament champion in Zagreb. His record, 23 wins with just 5 losses, 14 career knockouts. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, 1.94 meters, and weighed in at fight time at an even 186 pounds, 84.4 kilos. Here tonight in Denmark, fighting out of Brazil, here is Alex Poatan Pereira. Once again, your referee in charge is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. Do you have any questions? Touch gloves if you like. Break. Judge, judge, judge. Timekeeper.
Both these men say their dream is to one day become a Glory World Champion. They can make that a reality tonight, at least take a step closer, but they've got to win here. Rama in the black gloves, Pereira wearing white gloves.
And you can see the size difference. Pereira is a big middleweight, where Rama had to basically eat to make the weight class.
Rama says he's never been knocked out, in fact, never been knocked down in a fight. He'd love to keep that statistic alive, but Pereira does have one-punch knockout power, 14 knockouts in his 23 wins. And just like in our opening bout, there is a distinct reach advantage, not quite as massive as the other fight, however.
Yeah, Rama's using low kicks, and I think that's a very good strategy to low kick and make sure he protects his boxing, his head from Pereira's boxing, but he can't just be a standing target against the ropes.
According to MMA Odds Breaker, Alex Pereira is nearly a 5-1 favorite in this fight, so an uphill battle for the Swede. A big kick there now from Pereira.
But what makes Pereira dangerous is not just a good boxer. He's going to mix in good kicks. He's going to have good knees. But it's his boxing that really stands out.
Nice knee to the body. A sneaky one from Pereira. Goes right back there again.
This is where Rama needs to move. Don't let Pereira set his punches and create openings.
Reem Rama, as a teenager, was a rapper. In fact, he has a rap video on YouTube, but decided, you know what, I'm not going to be a pro rapper, but I can be a pro kickboxer.
Well, even in Sweden, at one point, that song was #1 on iTunes.
Nice research, Bazooka Joe.
I really like when Rama's using his kicks. I think his best bet is to stay tight defensively up top and keep chopping away at the legs of Pereira.
Alex off a highlight reel knockout victory over Israel Adesanya, one of the best middleweights in the world, and that left hand sent Rama back a little bit, and he still doesn't look 100%. Backed into the corner. Pereira can measure his shots now. In a tournament format, Joe, the quicker you can end the fight, the better.
Well, definitely. But it seems like Pereira's staying very patient.
So composed is Pereira. A couple of lefts, that's a left hook. And Rama, who's never been down, is on the brink here. Trying to fight his way out of it, Joe.
Well, he's keeping his chin a little too high. He's staying against the ropes. He's on the verge of getting knocked out if he doesn't protect
and that knee may have done it. A crushing knee to the skull for Alex Pereira.
As I mentioned, it's not just the boxing of Pereira you need to watch out for.
Hey, gloves up. Fight.
So Rama will survive the round, but barely.
Very impressive round by Pereira. Really stayed patient, really stayed calm, created opening with his boxing until he found that beautiful knee.
He showed us all of his skills, did he not?
So taking a look at the highlight, it's Pereira staying really relaxed, and it's Rama staying being too comfortable against the ropes. But it was Pereira who found a few good left hooks, which Rama was able to stand up, but eventually it was this big right knee right to the face of Rama that put him right down.
And credit to Rama for getting up from this knee right there.
He needs to stay up. You can't shell your head and shell yourself like that. Stay tall, protect your head, and keep moving. Get off those ropes.
Rama has got to be asking questions of himself right now. How much more of this can I take? Expect him to come out swinging for the fences, hoping to get lucky here. Round 2 of a scheduled 3 from Copenhagen, Denmark.
Well, it just shows what kind of fighter you are if you can recover from that and come forward and keep pressuring. And let's see what Rama can do this round.
This isn't like boxing where you have 12 rounds where Rama could wait a round or two to get back into the fight, maybe buy some time. He has to come out swinging here.
Break! Fight!
And Pereira pulling out all the tricks. He's done it with the hands, he's done it with the legs. You obviously saw the knee.
It's Pereira's left hook that's doing a lot of the damage.
The winner of this faces Yusuri Belgarwi later tonight in our middleweight tournament final, and the winner of that fight gets a future world title shot.
Pereira is very content of staying relaxed. Landed a nice jab there.
And Pereira knows all about winning tournaments. In fact, he's won here in Glory before, beating Dustin Jacoby and Sahak Paparian, the former Showtime world champion. Left hook there on the way out, and then a right hand from Pereira, and a head kick partially blocked. Oh, but that right hand snapped the head back of Rama, who's seeing stars.
He needs to be careful shelling up again and putting his head down. I'm sure Pereira has a knee waiting.
And if you're Pereira, you also want to be a little bit careful yourself, because Rama could certainly catch you. He does have knockout power, 15 KOs for the Swedish fighter's career.
But his hands are just a little too low, and that's why Pereira is able to continually catch him.
Pereira feels like he's in the best place of his career right now, coming off that great victory over Israel Adesanya. And now a chance to be the #1 contender if he can put away Rama here and do the same later tonight to Belgarwi.
I was just gonna say, I'd like to see Pereira attack the body, and that's where he took that left hook. But he needs to be more consistent with it. Mix up levels with that left hook.
And another jab opens the door for the right hand. And now Rama in the corner, taking massive shots, and Paul Nichols might want to think about stopping this. It's another knockdown.
Just like I said, you saw Pereira attack that body, then follow the left hook to the head.
6, 7, 8, gloves up.
Not exactly the look of confidence for Rama. He comes out swinging, though, plenty of heart. He covers up and starts eating lefts and rights from Pereira.
He's continually fighting back, but there's another knee, saved by the bell once again.
Another knockdown in this fight, and it will be an official TKO. That's the tournament format rules. Here's a look at the second knockdown of this fight, Joe.
And it was Pereira really mixing up those left hooks, and I called for him to really mix those levels up, and he did a beautiful job at getting that defense down to block the liver shot, and then all of a sudden he took that nice left hook to the head for the knockdown.
Not a good day at the office for Bream Rama, making his Glory debut. A lot of pressure on him. He knows a lot of eyeballs are on this fight, but he's coming up against an Alex Pereira who's really clicking on all cylinders.
But Rama's showing a lot of heart. He's not just sitting there. He's trying to counter back. He's trying to throw more. So it is showing a good heart and good potential for the future.
Round 3 of a scheduled 3. Perhaps the only question now is, will Rama survive the end of this fight? Rama, who's never been dropped in a professional fight before, has gone to the canvas twice here tonight. But this is a fight. You're never out of it until it's over, especially when you have power like Bream Rama has. Total strikes landed, 60-40, but obviously the more damaging blows have been from Pereira.
Yeah, there doesn't look like there's too much threat with the power of Rama, so Pereira's able to pick his shots, take his time, and really conserve his energy for the finals.
Pereira would love a stoppage here. He's frankly earned it, done everything right, but Rama is one tough customer.
I'd like to see Pereira still mixing his kicks once in a while. Help set up his boxing, help him with some knees, or he's saving his shins and knees for the finals, doesn't want to have any more damage.
Straight right hand connects. Rama's taken a lot of abuse here over these 3 rounds. And again, finds himself back against the ropes, and that's the danger zone.
It seems like Rama would just be happy to survive the fight because he doesn't have much output. He keeps eating punches.
And he goes down again, and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. What a performance by the Brazilian Alex Pereira, who advances to the middleweight contender tournament final tonight.
Let's take a look at that finish in that last highlight. And it was Pereira really doing a good job at keeping calm, not overcommitting, finding his punches, and finally landing that right hand, which he found many times in that fight, causing the 3rd knockdown in the end of the fight.
Pereira, who said the only thing he fears in life is that he's scared of the dark, just turned out the lights of Barim Rama and advances to the finals later tonight. We'll make it official when Glory 40 live from Copenhagen, Denmark returns. May 20th, live from the Brabenthal in Den Bosch. It's Glory 41 Holland. High power from the high towers in a heavyweight contender tournament featuring American knockout monster Xavier Vigny and experienced Brazilian Anderson Silva. Furious featherweights and the grudge match between Chai Lewis Perry and Hesty Gerges. Glory 41 Holland, live from the Brabenthal in Den Bosch, May 20th. Don't miss it. For those watching live on ESPN2 in the United States, it's a big NBA doubleheader on ABC Sunday. Wizards and Celtics at 1 p.m., followed by Game 7 between the Jazz and the Clippers. It's also being streamed live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. Let's jump right back into our highlights from this, the 2nd middleweight contender tournament semifinal.
And the highlights are all Alex Pereira, showing good composure, lots of experience, and just was able to pick his shots with his boxing, was able to find a good right knee knockdown in the 1st round. In the 2nd round, he continued to just pick his shots, finally mixing up levels with his left hook, causing the 2nd knockdown. And then in round 3 was very similar, just finding right hands over and over again until finally the 3rd knockdown and the TKO victory for Alex Pereira.
Here are our final statistics. Strikes absorbed, 58 headshots to Barim Rama. Alex Pereira with a fantastic performance here tonight, but he's still got one to go. Let's make this thing official. Into the ring and Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an official time of 1 minute, 42 seconds of that 3rd and final round. This bout comes to an end by way of the Glory Maximum Knockdown Rule. For your winner, by technical knockout, now advancing to the tournament final, Alex Pereira.
If you like tall middleweights, this final will be right up your alley. 6'4" Alex Pereira will be facing 6'5" Yusuri Belgarwi. And Joe, as you see it right now, who's got the edge?
Well, it's very tough. Pereira seemed to may have had an easier first fight, but both guys are very tall. Both guys are good with their boxing. The advantage in kicks might go to Belgarwi, but we saw Alex Pereira mix up a lot of his strikes, so it's 50-50 in my books.
That fight still to come here later tonight. as is the return of Denmark's own Niklas Larsen.
He has been ranked among the top 10 Muay Thai fighters in the famed Lumpini Stadium rankings. Please welcome Yokumpan Sitmonchai.
Yokumpan Sitmonchai from Thailand. Still new to the kickboxing rules. He does have a Glory record of 1-1. He made his Glory debut at Glory 15 Istanbul against Sarkisian, winning a majority decision. However, fell short in his second fight against Gabriel Varga, and he's still getting used to the kickboxing rules. He had a layoff, so let's see what that layoff did for his kickboxing style.
This Danish destroyer made a triumphant return with a unanimous decision victory in Chicago at Glory 38. Please welcome Niklas Larsen.
What an inspirational, uplifting story that Niklas Larsen has, battling back from a really life-changing staph infection. And he's back kickboxing, and that's why he chose this song. What a wonderful world. He's always smiling, always happy. He works with youth here in Denmark, wants to be a positive influence in their life, and he's just an all-around great person.
Yeah, and the way you see him, it's we had a pre-fight interview, and he was just super positive. He was smiling, he was laughing, so you can definitely tell he's enjoying the moment. A moment which was almost taken from him. So him being here in his hometown with the fans and everyone in this crowd cheering, it's definitely a moment that Larsen will remember for the rest of his life.
Niklas Larsen says, yeah, it's a feel-good story, but I'm not here just to inspire people with my story. I'm here to inspire them by the way I fight and the way I win.
And he's very exciting, and we saw that in his comeback fight at Glory 38 against Lucas Plaveski. He did a good job at pressure fighting and landing a lot of good knees, and that's one of his favorite weapons. He's gonna mix in a lot of good punches, a lot of good knees, but he's fighting an experienced, tricky Thai fighter.
We're back here live on ESPN2 in the United States. This is our tale of the tape in the lightweight division. Copenhagen, Denmark's own Niklas Larsen taking on Yokumpan Sitmonchai from Thailand. The height and reach are massive in this fight, Joe.
Yeah, and Yokumpan is a featherweight. This is the first time he's fighting in Glory as a lightweight, but he does have that big professional fight experience, but it's Niklas Larsen who has the advantage in kickboxing rules, and that's where Yokumpan is really trying to develop. So let's see if that fight experience in Muay Thai is enough to survive against Niklas Larsen.
For the official introductions, we send it in to the veteran announcer here, Glory, Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, your co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Glory lightweight division. He won his Glory debut in Istanbul at Glory 15 and brings with him a professional record of 89 wins with 27 losses and 1 draw and 54 career knockouts. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, 1.73 meters, and weighed in at fight time at an even 153 pounds, 69.4 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Kanchanaburi, Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Yokumpan. Here now is his opponent, standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, a WKU Muay Thai world champion. His professional record, 45 wins with 8 losses, 2 bouts scored even, and 24 career knockouts. Standing 6 feet, 1/2 inch tall, 1.84 meters. He weighed in at 153 1/2 pounds, 69.8 kilos. Fighting tonight out of Denmark, ladies and gentlemen, it's Niklas, the Danish destroyer, Larsen. Your referee in charge of this bout, Tobias Gerald.
Nicholas, Mo. Gentlemen, you know the rules, so respect my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard, may the best man win. Touch gloves if you want, back to your corners. Judge.
You heard our referee
Judge.
call Yutkampan
Judge.
Moo. That's his nickname,
Judge.
and it means pig in Thai because when he was a young kid, his friends said he looked like a pig. So the name Moo is born. Nicholas Larsson from Denmark wearing white, Yutkampan wearing black gloves.
And it's going to be Nicholas Larsson's going to try to use a little bit more activity, try to use his boxing to expose the defense of Yutkampan, but Yutkampan has powerful kicks and is going to shut down that movement with his powerful kicks.
A flying knee and a good one there from Nicholas Larsson, known as the Danish Destroyer. And if you don't know anything about Larsson, he has the courage of a lion. At one point in his life, a few years ago, had a staph infection in his foot, and doctors told him they might have to amputate his leg. He had to learn to re-walk again, and here he is a couple of years later, not just walking, but excelling in a sport that requires your leg to be one of the best weapons on your body.
And he's really using his footwork right now. He's staying on the outside, constantly switching stances. He doesn't want to be a standing target. He's going to punch on angles, go in and out. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing a good job at trying to be tricky like his style entailed.
A left hand comes through for Larsson. Most Thai fighters are more skilled with their legs, but Yutkampan may be the alternative to that. He's great with his punches and says that's what he's been working on since his last fight.
Well, I feel his advantage is still using his kicks. I want to see him really use his low kick, which is very powerful. Because Larsson is very explosive on the outside, so he's going to be very difficult to hit.
I'm going to tell you this story, and you may think I'm making it up, but Yutkampan has been fighting professionally since the age of 5 years old. In Thailand, that's somewhat normal, believe it or not. He was very poor, and we're not talking about America poor, we're talking about Thailand poor, where he said no one in his family had dinner at night, so he went to train, learned to fight pretty well, made money to put food on his family's table.
And that just shows why and how different fighters end up in the glory ring. It's just what makes this sport beautiful.
So two great stories here and two great fighters. Nicholas Larsson, who believes a win here tonight could put him close to title contention. 30 seconds to go here in round one, scheduled for 3.
There's that explosive trickiness that Larsson likes to throw.
Sort of lulled into sleep there, rocking him back and forth.
Changing rhythm, he throws a single, and then he threw a nice, quick 1-2 right down the middle, which shocked Yutkampan.
Nice opening round for the hometown boy, Nicholas Larsson. Here's our fighter profiles. We look at Nicholas Larsson first. He is the destroyer, and his flying knee comes from his fighting hero, Remy Bonjasky out of the Netherlands.
Yeah, the big K1 champion who's known for that flying knee, and everyone who likes to throw it is inspired by Remy Bonjasky. But like I mentioned during the first round, he had a great performance at Glory 38 against Lucas Plaveski, where he really showcased good boxing and knees and a great recovery to show that he's back in the top-ranked divisions of the lightweights. Yutkampan is more of that classical Thai fighter who, as you've seen, is a little bit more patient, looking to land his power shots. And he is still transitioning to the kickboxing rules, so he does need to be more active in the second round.
89 professional wins for Yutkampan. 54 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Nicholas Larsson, about half of his wins ended knockout. 45 victories, 24 KOs. Larsson wants to keep busy. We saw him just a couple months ago in Chicago, his return bout after missing a few years. with that brutal staph infection. He's obviously fighting here tonight. Wants to get back in the ring again in a couple months, provided things go his way here tonight.
I like how he's throwing his jab. He's throwing it on different angles. He's moving in and out. He doesn't want to be a standing target, and that strategy is working really well.
And one thing Nicholas told us he was a little worried about is that some Thai fighters can lull you to sleep. You think they might be done or hurt, and then all of a sudden, bam, they wake up and catch you.
And that's exactly what Yotkupan's doing. He's staying very patient. But in my opinion, he's being a little too patient. This is one of those things where the transition of kickboxing, you have to be a little bit more active. You can't just constantly wait so long.
On Nicholas Larsson's trunks, he has the name of a good friend of his named Jesper Juhl, who was killed recently. He's a police officer, was killed actually in a random act of violence. Dedicated tonight's performance to his former friend. In fact, it was a national funeral here in Denmark. Hundreds of people attended that funeral, so a nice gesture for Nicholas Larsson to his former good friend. Total strikes landed, Larsson over 2-1.
Yotkupan is finding a little bit more success now. He's being a little bit more active with his boxing, and he has caught Nicholas a few times, so I think it's going to start slowing down Nicholas's output.
When Larsson gets wide and wild with those punches, that's when Yotkupan connects with some counter punches.
And he's throwing them in 2s and 3s, which is doing well. But that's when I want to see him throw his kicks again.
Nicholas Larsson certainly wants to impress the locals here. A couple of hundred friends and family in the crowd, so he told us.
Up. Stop. Stop. Fight.
One round to go between Larsson and Yotkupan.
That was definitely a better round for Yotkupan, but I have this fight still 2-0 for Larsson. He's doing a better job at being active on the outside, using his jab, being active, but that was definitely a better round for the Thai fighter.
From Denmark to Holland next month, and then on to Paris for Glory 42, and it features the Glory Welterweight Championship of the World. It's a rematch between Cedric Doumbé and Nicky Holzken. Joe, I know how excited you are about this one.
Yeah, this is a fight that gets me excited, especially being a welterweight myself, and Cedric Doumbé is doing an amazing job at using that tricky style, and the way he fought Congolo was just amazing. Congolo had no answer for his tricky head movement style.
That fight should be good. So too should our main event tonight, the middleweight championship of the world. Jason Wilness and Simon Marcus.
Come on, black corner.
One of our beautiful Glory girls here tonight as Larsson tries to get this crowd pumped up. He wants noise, he wants energy. 3 minutes to go in this middleweight featured attraction.
Let's see if Yotkupan is going to be a little bit more active, or is he just going to wait and continue to try to counterpunch?
Excuse me, lightweight featured attraction. The middleweights come up later tonight. In fact, 2 more middleweight bouts to go. This is the only lightweight fight on our Glory 40 card. The rest are middleweight fights. Larsson certainly seems fresh.
He just stays outside. He needs to keep active with that jab.
You could see where Yotkupan was teeing up that counter punch.
I like when Larsson slips in the right hand off the jab. He's only thrown it a few times, but when he does, he's very successful.
What do you make of the strategy so far for the Thai fighter?
He's waiting too long. I feel he needs to be a little bit more active because it's Larsson continually scoring points on the outside, but not enough from Yotkupan.
the best punch of the fight for Larson.
His right hand is finding a lot of success when he throws it behind the jab. And he just found an overhand right there.
And now he's backed Moo up to the ropes, throwing some knees in there for good measure. You know Larson wants a finish here, wants a KO. He's got just over a minute to do it. Yukompon, though, very dangerous. Cannot count him out. There's the jab.
And he's staying busy with it, which is very important.
A triple jab. Yukompon says, step in here and fight me. And Larson obliged, at least for a minute, throwing a big right hand that missed.
Yukompon needs to press that action. Still waiting too long with only 35 seconds left in the fight.
And here's Yukompon opening up now. He's got to get aggressive.
If I'm Larson, I'm staying outside still.
10 seconds to go. Larson went for glory, didn't quite get it, but an impressive performance for Nicholas Larson, and it may have been a 3-round shutout for the hometown boy.
Well,
we'll find out exactly what our judges had to think, the official decision, when we return here on ESPN2. Up next, the finals of our middleweight contender tournament. And for more on that, we send it backstage to Whitney Miller.
The finals of the tournament are later tonight. You can see Belgari behind me warming up as he prepares to face Alex Pereira. Pereira also made swift work of his opponent, just like Belgari. However, Belgari said that he is prepared to take on Alex. He wanted to, and that he loves it. The question could be, who's going to get the knockout first? I know they're both looking forward to it. Let's see what happens.
May 20th, live from the Brabanthallen Den Bosch. It's Glory 41 Holland. High power from the high towers in a heavyweight contender tournament featuring American knockout monster Xavier Vigny and experienced Brazilian Anderson Silva. Furious featherweights and the grudge match between Chai Lewis Perry and Hesty Gerges. Glory 41 Holland, live from the Brabanthallen Den Bosch, May 20th. Don't miss it. Check out GloryShop.com for the latest in all things Glory gear, including Hayabusa training gloves, Glory t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, pretty much anything else. Shop now at GloryShop.com. For those watching live on ESPN2 in the United States, tonight after Missouri and LSU on ESPN, catch SportsCenter Night with Kevin Connors and Nicole Briscoe. They'll have a full breakdown of all the NBA and NHL playoffs, plus wrap up the NFL Draft. SportsCenter Night on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. We welcome you back to Copenhagen, Denmark, as our lightweight battle between Nicholas Larsson and You've Come On just went final.
And it was Larsson staying active and busy on the outside, using his jab, establishing the pace and the momentum of the fight, where Yarkupan had sporadic moments where he was trying to counter with big punches, but just wasn't active enough, in my opinion. And the activity of Larsson made him the fight. I go 3-0 on my unofficial scorecard.
Larsson promised that tonight he'd look as good as he ever has. He pretty much did. Kampan just could not find an answer. And true to form, Nicholas Larsson, maybe the nicest guy we've ever dealt with from a fighter perspective here at Glory, picks his opponent up and celebrates his performance. Strikes absorbed to the head and to the body. And how about Sitmonchai not landing one single body shot?
Yeah, he was really focusing on low kicks and attacking the head, where punching the body could have been a good strategy for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of kickboxing, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the totals from our 5 ringside judges. 3 of them see the bout 29-28. The remaining 2 score at 30-27, a unanimous decision. All for your winner, Nicholas Larsson.
Good sign of sportsmanship between the 2 combatants tonight. Whitney Miller now in the ring with Nicholas, the Danish destroyer, Larsson.
Nicholas, congratulations.
Thank you.
Here in your hometown. How are you feeling after that performance? It was absolutely incredible. What do you think about it?
Well, you know, it's just amazing to be in here. All the audience is just amazing. This is, for me, this is incredible. So I really like to thank all you fans that are supporting here today. It's just incredible for me to be here. I really love it. I love you guys.
It looked like your opponent was throwing mostly power shots. Did you ever feel worried at any point?
No, not at all. He's a good fighter, and you know, I like that he wants to fight. So it's just fun for me to be here. I just want to do it again. I actually hope for an extra round. So yeah, maybe next time I get a tournament. Maybe, yeah.
Congratulations, Copenhagen. Give it up one more time for your winner, Nicholas Larsson.
Congratulations to Nicholas Larsson, who makes everyone in Copenhagen feel a little bit better about themselves. He improves to 46-8-2 overall. Still to come in our main event, one of the most anticipated title fights in Glory history, ladies and gentlemen. The middleweight champion of the world, Jason Wilness, right there, faces the man he beat for the belt, Simon Marcus. The hate is real. You'll see him in action later tonight. But up next, it's our middleweight contender tournament finals. Suri Belgarwi, who went the distance in his fight, squares off against Brazilian Alex Pereira, who won by knockout. 3 rounds separates one of these 2 gentlemen between themselves and a future middleweight title shot. We're back here live in Copenhagen, Denmark, and it all comes down to this, Joe. Yusuri Belgarwi taking on Alex Pereira in the finals of our middleweight contender tournament.
And I think this is the perfect matchup and the perfect time for these two to fight. Both similar styles, but in that first fight, it was Belgarwi who did a good job at landing low kicks, got himself a knockdown in the second round via low kicks, but then he was able to stay long, stay smart, stay technical, and steal a very good round where they're showing a potential foot injury on Belgarwi from all those low kicks. But in the second semifinals, we saw Alex Pereira really use his experience, really pick his shots with his boxing, stayed calm, stayed composed, was able to land a nice knee in the first round, followed up by good left hooks and right hands in the second, and finally the third knockdown, giving Alex Pereira a third rule knockdown.
A stinging left hook followed by a well-timed knee in the first round was the beginning of the end in his semifinal. Please welcome back Alex Pereira.
Keep in mind, Joe, Alex Pereira beat a man, knocked out a man that had never been down in his professional career. He dropped him 3 times to win by TKO.
It just shows how powerful and skilled he is. A lot of people over-focus on his boxing, but he showed good knees, he showed good kicks, and he's able to mix it up well. But even in that backroom shot when Whitney was back there, he had a nice pack on his knee, so maybe there was some damage from his knee from that first fight.
You still have to fight on, whether you're injured or not. It's a 3-round fight with a world title opportunity on the line.
Relentless low kicks led to an 8 count in the first round in his semifinal. Here comes Yusuri Belgarwi.
You know, it's interesting, Joe. Earlier you said, listen, you want to stay warm, you want to keep moving. For Belgarwi, was it almost disadvantageous this time because he had so much time back there with an injury and had time to swell up and maybe get a little big?
Well, it all depends what the injury is, how he's feeling. Sometimes you think, I'm a believer in the more time you have, the better, but if he's cooling down too much, it could be a disadvantage, and he's gonna have to refine that adrenaline, refine that rush in the second fight. Hopefully he doesn't come out flat.
Is disadvantageous a word? Because I just used it.
Sounds right to me.
Either way, Yusuri Belgarwi, even if he's not 100%, will put that behind him. He can still dance, so obviously he's not messed up too much.
Well, this is a very interesting fight because both of these guys had the height advantage in their first fight. Both did a good job at staying long. So it could be down to the kicks and the knees in this fight, which could give the advantage to Belgarwi, but that punching power of Pereira is something you got to watch out for.
2 big, tall, heavy-hitting middleweights about to collide. Here's our tale of the tape. Belgarwi versus Pereira here at Glory 40 Copenhagen. 24 and 29, 6'5" and 6'4".
And it shows that Pereira actually has that little bit of a reach advantage, but I still think this is the perfect time for these two to be fighting. They both have the similar amounts of professional experience. They both are hungry, and they're both in line for a title shot, so this is one fight I'm super excited for.
Fatigue can be such a major factor in your second fight of the night. Here's the output both these gentlemen had in their earlier fight.
Well, it showed Belgarwi being a little bit more active, so that could be a fatigue factor, but he did have more time to recover as well. When looking at strikes absorbed, both took a lot of shots to the head and very similar in damage absorbed. I still think this is a good time, both equal in damage and shots absorbed, so let's see what happens.
Here's Tim Hughes with our official introductions.
This contender tournament final scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the black corner. He now improves his career record to 24 wins with 5 losses and 15 knockouts. He stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, 1.94 meters, and he weighed in at an even 186 pounds, 84.4 kilos. Back tonight, fighting out of Brazil, here is Alex Pereira. Pereira. His opponent now runs his record to 21 wins with 3 losses and 10 knockouts. At 6 feet 5 inches tall, 1.96 meters, he weighed in at 186 1/2 pounds, 84.6 kilos. He fights tonight out of Tunisia by way of the Netherlands. Here again, Yusri, the babyface ninja, Belgari. And your referee in charge of the Glory Ring is Tobias Gerald.
Alex, Yusri. Gentlemen, this is the final of the contender tournament, so you know the rules. Respect my commands at all times, protect yourself at all times. Fight good, fight clean, fight hard, may the best man win. Touch glove if you want, back to the corners.
Joe, this is the final. Many people predicted, including yourself, who has the edge as we get ready to start this final.
Well, I still think it's a very even fight. I give the kicking advantage to Belgari, but the boxing advantage to Pereira.
Judge, timekeeper, ready, fight!
Belgari wearing the white gloves, Pereira in the black.
Pereira right away wanted to establish his boxing.
Fight!
I really liked how Belgari fought in that first fight, really using his jab and his low kick. That can be a great strategy against Pereira as well.
Again, Pereira has won a Glory tournament before, knows what he's doing. As for Belgari, he lost the last time he was in a tournament to the eventual winner of said tournament, Israel Adesanya, who went on to challenge Jason Wilness for the middleweight championship of the world back in Los Angeles. Must be a little strange for Belgari after fighting someone who was 6 inches shorter than him. Now he's fighting someone who's almost the same size. And there's a bit of redness and swelling on the right foot of Belgari. We don't know how serious it is, but right now we haven't noticed a limp or any hesitation to throw the right leg.
I would like to see him throw it. If possible, that right low kick's going to be a good weapon for him. Try to shut down that boxing of Pereira, but Pereira is very confident in wanting to move forward, wanting to control the center of the ring, try to land his hands.
Both men have one-punch knockout power. Those punches come from a long way away when you're as tall as these two guys are. Belgari, Dutch, but of Tunisian parentage. Very proud of his Tunisian roots, but does fight and train out of Amsterdam at Mike's gym. Pereira has traveled the world chasing his dream, fighting out of Rio, or Sao Paulo, Brazil, rather. From Brazil to Copenhagen, Denmark, with a possibility of winning an opportunity to fight for the middleweight championship of the world.
Right now it's Pereira controlling the center of the ring, but Belgari's fighting really well on fighting backwards. He's still landing more, he's more active, and seems to be getting the best of the exchanges.
Uppercut connects, snapping Pereira's head back. We've seen in past fights, Pereira can and does get hit.
Yeah, we saw even in his last fight where he beat Israel Adesanya. Adesanya was beating him most of the round until he caught Israel coming in.
And now it's Pereira.
Stop! Not in the back, okay? Fight!
So 2 rounds to go. Joe, who'd you get the edge to there?
I give it to Belgari. He was more active, seemed to be getting more of the exchanges. According to fight metrics, we have Belgari landing 27 of 75 strikes. Pereira only 12.
Here's our look at the current Glory middleweight rankings, and they're up to the minute, by the way, because we've had a change since earlier tonight after their respective wins. Alex Pereira is now the number 2 ranked middleweight. Yusri Belgari is number 3, and of course, the 2 men in front of them will be fighting later tonight in our main event. I know Dustin Jacoby's watching from home right now. He's coming back from a broken arm suffered in his bout against Simon Marcus, so we wish him a speedy recovery as he tries to get back on track here in Glory. Round 2 of a scheduled 3. Again, this is the second fight these two men have been in tonight. Spinning back kick there from Pereira. He eats a right hand.
Pereira needs to be more busy this round. Let's see if he can maybe mix in some kicks and not just heavily rely on his punches.
Nice job of Belgarwi to back Pereira up, and now he's trying to fight off the ropes.
Stop! Next time. When I say stop, no more technique, okay? You understand? Fight!
Tobias Harris, our referee, trying to lay down the law.
There's that low kick I've been liking from Belgarwi.
You can see total strikes, the edge goes to Belgarwi. Oh, a left from Belgarwi, backs Pereira up. That might have really hurt him.
Yusri needs to stay long. I like when he's staying long, using his jab, following his right hand behind. It's Pereira who wants to bring him into the more of the heavy exchanges.
A short right connects for Belgarwi. And Pereira's letting Belgarwi rack up some points here with those little short shots.
Belgarwi being busy is his best strategy. It's shutting down the output of Pereira.
Might not have a lot behind it, but a landed punch is a landed punch. Ooh, Pereira missed that one by about 6 inches.
I like that Belgarwi's mixing up his strikes as well. He's using his low kicks, he's trying to mix in knees, where Pereira's just focusing on landing the one big shot.
Straight right hand connects again to Pereira, and then a left hook from Belgarwi.
Doesn't look like Pereira has much behind his punches anymore. Starting to fatigue really quickly.
We've seen this before from Pereira, where he starts to get behind on the scorecards. Seems like he's out of a fight, and then all of a sudden, one punch or one kick's all it takes. And there's that one punch, a right hand. Belgarwi says it didn't hurt him, but we all know it did. Best punch of the fight for Pereira, who's trying to follow it up with a left hook, but swings and misses. That one moment for Pereira may not have been enough, though. Another solid statistical round for Belgarwi.
This is the last one time. Next one, 1 point minus. No, no. Stop.
Our referee threatened to take a point, did not though, and how crucial would that be if Belgarwi had a point deducted for hitting after the bell?
Well, that would make things interesting, but Belgarwi right now is the fresher fighter, seems to be more active, so I still think Belgarwi's in a better position going into this round.
So the bell rings and then boom, quick little right hand from Belgarwi. And he immediately apologizes because he knew a point being taken away was a distinct possibility.
And he's been warned a few times, so referee Tobias Gerald is really watching Yusri Belgarwi very closely.
Through 2, Joe, how do you have it?
Well, I have it 2 rounds to 0 for Yusri Belgarwi being the busy fighter.
Come on.
But Pereira showed us with one punch. He caught Belgarwi, snapped his head back, but not enough to send the big boy down. Round 3 of a scheduled 3. The winner advances to fight for the middleweight championship of the world. Belgarwi fighting out of Netherlands, wearing the white gloves. Pereira from Brazil in the black.
I feel that ankle of Belgarwi starting to add up. He kind of stumbled under it. But a lot of fighters seem to be slipping on the canvas, complaining it's a little slippery.
kick attempt there and a big left hand swing and miss for Pereira. It's almost like he's reserving his energy for a few seconds to throw one of those bombs.
Well, Belgari does get excited. He keeps his hands down in exchanges, so Pereira's best option right now if he's fatiguing is to try to counterpunch while Belgari he's trying to come in.
A much better start to round 3 here for the Brazilian, who goes with a right to the body. You can see how fatigue is playing a factor, though. It looks like Belgari's fresher.
Pereira is finding some success.
And another left hook. How much gas is in the tank, though? A slip there from Belgari, and he ate a punch as well.
He's done that a few times. I think it's his right angle being damaged and swollen.
If Joseph Altolini's score is correct and that Belgari won the first 2 rounds, then Pereira needs a 10-8 round here. Whether it's a knockdown or a point reduction, whatever it is, that's what he needs. The jab has certainly been effective for Belgari. Haven't seen a lot of that from Pereira. And how much of a factor was rest for this fight? Belgari fought first tonight, had more downtime.
Well, it could be a big advantage, and it looks like either the rest helped or Yusri Belgari is just in better shape.
20 seconds to go. Ten seconds to go here in our final. Pereira throws a lunging right hand. Did not do the trick. Is Yusri Belgari headed to a title shot? He outlanded Alex Pereira 89-40. We'll find out. That decision is headed your way next. Then we're on to our main event. Let's send it now backstage to the third member of our broadcast team, Whitney Miller.
I'm standing backstage with your champ, Jason Wilderness. Jason, you are taking on Simon Marcus tonight. You usually aren't very outspoken, but for some reason, he seems to rile you up a little bit. What fires you up so much about Simon Marcus?
Yes, actually I'm a cool guy, you know, but Simon has a big mouth, and yeah, that's why I got to go hard on him and show him who I am.
At the weigh-ins yesterday, you could cut the tension with a knife. What exactly happened?
Yes, I was emotional and upset and I was already ready to go, you know, so I want to take him already, and I came close and he pushed me and I was like, hey, you're gonna see. And yeah, I was upset and emotional. When I'm ready to fight, I'm fired. We do stuff like that, but it's all in the fighting game.
Well, good luck tonight. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
I'm here with Simon Marcus as he prepares to take on the champ, Jason Wilderness. Jason has been so outspoken throughout this entire fight. What do you think it's been? Have you gotten underneath his skin a little bit?
To be honest, I'm not really worried about Jason. I'm just focusing on what I need to do tonight, which is stay focused and get the W.
Do you plan on going for the knockout, or you think it's going to go the full 5 rounds?
I don't make plans when I fight. I just fight in the zone. I believe tonight I'm on point. I'm feeling very good, and I don't think it will last.
All right. Well, good luck tonight. We look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
For those watching live on ESPN2 in the United States, this week we'll be at Fenway Park for Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. The Cubs take on the Red Sox in the final game of their 3-game series. Coverage begins with baseball tonight, Sunday Night Countdown, streamed live on the ESPN app. We welcome you back as we just witnessed the final of our middleweight contender tournament. And it was Yusuri Belgarwi who started strong.
And he did a good job at staying busy on the outside, really establishing his punches, even though he looked like he had a foot injury. But Pereira still kept coming forward, was really looking forward for that big one-shot counter punch, but didn't seem to have it. He had some signs that he did have that power even in the later rounds, but it's that busy, straight punching and activity of Belgarwi that just seemed to be too much for Alex Pereira to get any of those power shots landed.
Here's our strike stats, and the baby-faced ninja, as he's known, Yusuri Belgarwi, outlanded Pereira by over a 2-1 margin. Strikes absorbed. The proof is in the pudding. 58 headshots landed, 15 to the body, and 16 to the legs. The official decision now from Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of tournament action, we go to the judges' scorecard. All 5 of our ringside judges see them out the same and score it 30-27. A unanimous decision for your winner. And now, Glory Contender Tournament Champion, Yusuri Belgarwi. Here to present the Ramon Dekkers Trophy, our Vice President of European Events, Bert van der Rijde. He is accompanied by our Managing Director of Sports, Cor Hammers, and the General Sales Manager of Stanley, Soren Oskar.
So it's Yusuri Belgarwi with the opportunity now of a lifetime, but Joe, he certainly earned it.
Yeah, he did, and he had 2 very tough fights and showed that he is a very promising contender, and I'm sure he's going to hang out and not go back to the room to watch this main event.
Still to come as Darth Vader music resonates in this ring and this arena. It's our main event. Jason Psycho Wilness and Simon Marcus for the 3rd and final time.
standing by. Ring leader standing by. Green leader standing by.
World, the time has come to
push the button. Standing by.
World, the time has come to
push the button. Standing by.
World,
Jason Psycho Wilness, the one, Simon Marquez.
for Simon Marcus.
Wilness needs to keep moving forward.
Now, beautiful attack to the body.
Simon needs to keep his composure. This is the fight Wilness wants.
He just staggered Marcus.
Marcus is getting too worked up with his head movement.
Wilness has Marcus staggered and down. It's over. Jason Wilness has won the Glory Middleweight Championship.
His dominance in the world of Muay Thai is well documented, and we've had front row seats to his climb to the top of kickboxing. Please welcome Simon Marcus.
They call him the One. There's not much this man cannot do in a Glory kickboxing ring. Skill-wise, Joe, he has to be considered pound for pound one of the best in the world today.
Well, easily. Before coming into Glory, he was an undefeated Muay Thai champion, and even in his Muay Thai career, he has wins over Joe Schilling, Artem Levin, Philippe Verlinden. So he had a very successful Muay Thai career. And when he switched over to Glory, there was a lot of question whether he could do it or not, and he showed that he can, and his style is just constantly exciting, and he leaves it all in the ring, and you see it even in his losses. He goes out on his shield, and he leaves all his heart and emotion in the ring.
One of the toughest pound-for-pound punchers on the Glory roster is back for his second defense of the belt. He is Jason Wilness.
I am better. I am stronger. Those are the words from Jason Psycho Wilness. Full of confidence and full of rage, Joe. Jason Wilness doesn't show his heart on his sleeve, doesn't get emotional, but for this fight, he certainly has. Is that good or is that bad?
Well, I think it's good for him. I think regardless, when Jason Wilness is in the ring, it's a different person than you see outside of the ring. He brings a lot of good pressure. He brings a lot of good power. He's got heavy hands, good low kicks. And there's no secret what Jason Wilness is gonna do. He fights the same way all the time, but it's just so effective, and no one seems to find an answer for that style.
Almost an all-out brawl yesterday at the weigh-in, pushing and shoving, and a lot of very strong words for one another. Wilness versus Marcus. When you spend that much time in the ring together, you learn to hate, and the hate is real. Here's our tale of the tape for the middleweight championship of the world. Jason Wilness fighting out of the Netherlands. Simon Marcus from Canada. Jason Wilness still very young in the fight game, 26 years old. The reach advantage of 3.5 inches falls to Simon Marcus.
And looking at professional experience, it is basically Wilness having more of that kickboxing experience where Marcus has that Muay Thai experience. But looking at the power, you can see how powerful Wilness is. He's given 11 knockdowns in his career, only sustained 2, where Simon has delivered 4 and taken 5. But what impresses me and what is the key for Simon is use his kicks, use his knees versus the boxing and low kicks of Wilness.
Here's our championship rules. 5 rounds, 3 minutes each. 3 knockdowns in a round or 4 in the fight. and it will result in a TKO.
And the 5 judges tonight in Copenhagen will be scoring using the 10-point must system. Scoring is based on knockdowns, damage, clean scoring strikes with an emphasis on spectacular techniques. Finally, if there's no advantage, judges are looking at aggressiveness.
This is your main event of the evening. 5 rounds for the Glory Middleweight Championship of the World. The third in an unfriendly trilogy of fights with split victories in New Jersey and Dubai. And the challenger looking to reclaim kickboxing's biggest prize. This bout sanctioned by the International Sport Kickboxing Association. And at the bell, your referee is Paul Nichols. From Copenhagen to Canada, Glory kickboxing fans are watching live around the world. It's time for Glory! Let's meet the challenger fighting out of the black corner, a 4-time Muay Thai world champion. His professional record, 46 wins, 3 losses, 2 bouts scored even, and 26 knockouts. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, 1.85 meters, and he weighed in at fight time at 183.5 pounds, 83.2 kilos. Fighting out of Toronto, Canada, he is the former Glory middleweight champion of the world. He is the one, Simon Marcus. His opponent standing on my left and fighting out of the white corner, coming off of a successful defense of the belt at Glory 37 in Los Angeles. His record, 30 wins with 6 losses, 1 draw, 8 of those wins by knockout. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, 1.85 meters, he weighed in at fight time at 185.5 pounds, 84.2 kilos. He's here tonight, fighting out of Utrecht, the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning and defending Glory middleweight champion of the world, Jason Psycho Wilness. Again, your referee in charge of this championship bout is Paul Nichols.
Gentlemen, you understand the rules that you're fighting to. Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. World title fight, I expect you to fight like a world title. Touch gloves if you like.
They don't touch gloves.
Judge.
They despise each other.
Judge.
Can they keep their emotions in check? Will they keep their emotions in check? Should they? Here we go. 5 rounds in the middleweight division for the championship of the world. Jason Wilness, the champion, wearing the white gloves. Simon Marcus, the challenger, in the black.
And this fight is about Wilness really trying to control the center of the ring, where Simon's going to try to stay long on the outside and use his left kick and a lot of those left knees that he found success with, but that's going to be tough against those low kicks and inside punching of Wilness.
In their last fight, it was Simon Marcus who came out and looked amazing for the first 2 or 3 minutes and then let his guard down, and Jason Wilness just started teeing off and won the fight with a knockout.
And Simon, for this fight, went to Thailand and he trained with Buakaw Banchamak back in Thailand, K1 kickboxing legend. So for Simon, that's a lot of confidence coming in here, sticking to his Muay Thai roots.
And one of the best assets that Jason Wilness has is his ability to absorb punishment. He will get hit with punches and kicks, but seemingly can walk through just about anything.
But a lot of those shots that people throw at Wilness are blocked off his guard. He stays calm under his shell and his shield and then counters right back.
This is the second title defense for Jason Wilness. Eats a body kick there.
And what Jason Wilness does well is if Simon throws a kick, Wilness counters right back. So he shuts down the kicks of Simon by countering right back.
As far as skills go, Joe, where does Jason Wilness have an edge?
Well, it's that pressure fighting and getting on the inside. His inside boxing and low kicks are what makes Wilness very dangerous. where Simon's advantage is staying on the outside, and watch out for that left kick. I've sparred with Simon many times in the past, and that left kick is very difficult to get around.
I want to thank those of you watching in the United States on ESPN2 and around the world on ESPN3 in over 170 countries. It's the middleweight championship of the world, the final fight of a trilogy between Simon Marcus and Jason Wilness.
Shout out to all the Canadians watching and supporting back home in Toronto. My hometown also.
A big following for Simon Marcus in Canada for sure. Wilness just as popular in the Netherlands. Jason Wilness's brother, Jafar Wilness, a heavyweight fighter, has had a lot of success as well. He's in his brother's corner tonight. What did you make of this round one? Not a ton of action, Joe. Surprised at all?
Well, it's very patient, and I think that's what Simon has to do, and that's Wilness's strategy. He likes to come in, stay calm the first 2 rounds, and by round 3, he really picks it up.
Let's listen into the corners here. First, we go into Jason Wilness's.
Iets dichterbij aan te sluiten, want anders ben je te ver weg.
Als je de afstand van de knie en de trap niet te dicht op, dan komt die knie niet te ver af. Ja?
Dit gaat goed zin, gaat goed aan.
Die loop ik zo goed met links, hè?
Daar heeft hij last van zo, hè? Ben je onder de indruk? Focussen. Jace, en dit mag meer, hè?
You control the ring. You control the ring. You step where you want to be where you want to. Always in the water. The fight takes place in the middle of the ring. Middle of the ring. Takes time to the leg.
You heard the corner there, Simon Marcus, saying this fight takes place in the middle of the ring. Why is that so important for him?
Well, his coach, Howard Wright, doesn't want Simon against the ropes, and that's where Wilness is dangerous because he's trying to control the center. Simon needs to dictate the pace, and that's what.
So the smaller that Jason Wilness can make this ring, the better.
That's right. He's going to constantly, he doesn't move back. He's going to take the absorption off of his guard and counter back with those kicks or those punches.
And for those of you just watching Glory Kickboxing for the first time, type in Jason Wilness or Simon Marcus on YouTube for pad work, and you'll see how hard these kicks truly are. They can blast. It's amazing that another human being doesn't fall straight down when they're hit with them.
Both exchanging kicks.
Like that one.
Simon focusing on the left body kick and hitting the body where Wilness attacks the legs.
Strikes landed so far, 28-16, Simon Marcus with the edge. Who did you give round 1 to, Joe?
Well, it's very equal in damage, but it seems like Simon's activity and being a lot busier has won him that round, but judges can be looking at that pressure fighting as an advantage.
At the top of the broadcast, we asked you your keys to glory for Simon Marcus, and you said he basically just has to stay away and not really get involved in a brawl. Is that what he's doing so far?
Well, he's being a little bit more active on the outside, which is good, but I still feel that he needs to stay a little bit more defensive up top because I saw Wilness really do a good job at changing levels with his punches.
Last time they fought, Simon Marcus was taunting Jason Wilness, put his hands down, tried to do a little Roy Jones action, and got caught. He hasn't been that foolish so far tonight.
But you can see, yes, Simon was more active in that first round, but it doesn't seem to be affecting Wilness at all. He just continually walks forward. And when he does get hit, he counters right back with something that does damage, and you'll see Simon Marcus as his legs move a little bit.
According to MMA Oddsbreaker, the champion, Jason Wilness, a slight favorite, -135, which means you bet $135 to win 100.
Nice left hook by Wilness.
Oh, what a body kick by Simon Marcus, but again, it doesn't seem to phase Wilness. Another knee, too.
I like when Wilness throws his left hook to the body.
Again, right to the rib cage.
But already you can see the redness building up from those left kicks of Simon.
Another good output round for Simon Marcus, who's almost landed twice as many strikes as Jason Wilness. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, you told us or gave us your keys to glory. Let's check those out one more time, Joe.
Well, let's take a look at Jason Wilness first, and it's controlling the center of the ring, which is exactly what he's doing. And he's countering back right away. For every left kick that Simon throws, Wilness is countering right back, whether it's with punches or kicks, and he's not letting Simon get momentum. And look what he's doing. He's being active with his combinations, and I feel he still needs to pick up his activity and change levels with his punches. Where Simon, like his coach Howard Wright said, don't stay against the ropes. He needs to stick to his Muay Thai roots like he's doing, keep throwing that left kick, keep changing levels though, but I find that his hands are a little too low and a little open to the counter punches of Wilness.
Simon Marcus very proud of his Jamaican roots. His corner wearing the yellow and green of the Jamaican flag. Round 3 of a scheduled 5 here. We are live in Copenhagen, Denmark. This middleweight title fight between Simon Marcus and Jason Wilness.
So that second round I'm going to give to Wilness. He's doing a lot more damage when he lands. He seems to be walking past everything Simon has to throw. And remember, a lot of those kicks that Simon are throwing are off the arm of Wilness. Some are landing, but a lot of them are off the forearm of Wilness.
So you're not buying into these total strike statistics that we're putting up on the screen, where Simon Marcus has landed 63 to Wilness's 37.
Well, you got to remember the second scoring criterion, glory, is damage. And it seems like every time Wilness throws, he's doing a little bit more damage.
And look at the body kicks. Incredible, 25-0.
But for every body kick that Simon throws, Wilness is returning with a low kick. So if we were to see low kick stats, you would see Wilness dominating in that category.
Maybe we'll see those, Joe. Ask and you shall receive, perhaps. There you go. Leg kicks. Wilness 17, Marcus 9. And Wilness got a right hand through there, which backed Simon Marcus up for a second.
See, this is where Simon needs to get out of. He can't be comfortable sitting in the corners.
Simon Marcus, a former Muay Thai light heavyweight world champion. And why has Simon Marcus been so successful at transitioning from Muay Thai to kickboxing, perhaps better than any other Muay Thai fighter we've ever seen?
Well, one, because he's an exceptional athlete and he's a martial artist. He just doesn't train for fights. He fights all year round. Fighting is his life. So those transitions are easy when you're a phenomenal athlete like Simon.
At least he makes it look easy. The respective trainers for both these fighters told us they are in the shape of their lives. No excuses as far as conditioning goes for either Wilness or Marcus. Another low kick from Wilness.
Simon continuing with those kicks, but the story is Wilness throwing right back.
What are the judges looking at here? Are they going to be more impressed with the output of Simon Marcus or the damage of Jason Wilness?
That's what makes this tough, very difficult to score. Those knees of Simon are doing well.
Now Wilness on the inside, wants to trade going to the end of round 3. Nice low kick.
Beautiful low kicks, mixing up inside and outside. Well done, Jason.
Beautiful. Let it come. You're almost. Toe.
Papa, werken met hem. En continu die benen meenemen. Beetje vast. Hey, iedere keer die benen meenemen. Focus op je afstand, op je voetenwerk en dan bam. Jace, blijf wat lichter op je benen. Hey Jace, nou dichterbij en meer tempo maken. Yes?
Our translator is telling us they keep telling Jason Wilness to use the legs, use the legs.
And you also see Rico Verhoeven's coach, Dennis Carwill, in the corner, and I heard him say something about the body.
Also being told he was instructed to keep your distance. That's a bit strange because you said it was Simon Marcus that needed to keep the distance.
Well, I have a feeling that they're a little bit concerned of the knees of Simon. So maybe that little bit of extra space will avoid the knees and help with Wilness counterpunching.
We are in the championship rounds now, rounds 4 and 5 still to come.
So from what I gathered, it's going to be Wilness really trying to still hit the body and use his low kicks, where Simon's going to continue to use his knees and kicks on the outside.
This has been a razor-close fight thus far. Neither man, except for perhaps Simon Marcus in the first round, has made a definitive statement. But Simon Marcus may be a little hurt here, ate a couple of punches, but continues to walk forward. And sometimes the best defense in kickboxing can be your offense, and that's exactly what Simon Marcus did after eating those punches.
And what Simon's trying to use that kick to try to slow down the boxing of Wilness, but Wilness just does a good job at mixing in counter hooks or counter low kicks.
Simon Marcus maybe getting a little sloppy right now. Do you sense some fatigue setting in?
Well, I started seeing a little bit in the third round. I'm seeing it a little bit from both fighters, but it still looks like Jason Wilness that every time he does hit, he's doing more damage. Good low kicks by Wilness. He needs to keep up with those right low kicks.
We haven't seen a braggadocious Simon Marcus like we've seen in the past. So maybe he decides just to change his game plan up tonight. Play it more straight.
Well, he does seem a little bit more fatigued, but this is where if Simon is going to want to pick up and get a little bit emotional, it's going to be in this or the 5th round.
And the statistics are closing rapidly. Earlier, Simon Marcus had a massive edge, but now it's 97 strikes landed for Marcus, 89 for Wilness.
Simon just ate a big shot there. He landed an uppercut, but Wilness just came back and countered right away.
An extremely competitive fight here for the middleweight championship of the world. It's almost becoming an I hit you, you hit me type of fight. Oh, and a right hand now. And the hands are down by the waist for Marcus.
The same kind of fight that Simon got. He's starting to get emotional and sit in the pocket with his chin up.
And a knee there from Marcus. They're both leaving it all in the ring for sure. Marcus with those knees that have been landing all night long. He's landing good knees, but I'm not sure why he's not respecting the counter punches of Wilness. And there they come. 1 round to go and a late parting shot from Jason Wilness. Joe, I'm going to ask you how you have it through 4 rounds. How do you have it through 4 rounds?
I have to give the edge to Jason Wilness 3 rounds to 1. I'm still giving Simon 1, but Wilness the last 3.
Blijf recht. Ademen, neus in, mond uit. Hij is kapot, hij moet zitten. Nee, hij is helemaal leeg. Ouwe, luister eens naar mij.
This was some of the action at the end of the fight, where Simon started getting a little too comfortable with his head movement, he's getting too comfortable keeping his chin up in punch range and punching to punch with Wilness, which is not a good strategy. So there you go, you have Simon Marcus really trying to utilize his knees, but he's keeping his chin a little too high in my opinion, and those shots from Wilness are just too powerful still.
Let's go.
3 minutes to go. Simon Marcus, the challenger. Jason Psycho Wilness, the champ. We are live in Copenhagen, Denmark. Glory 40. And immediately, Marcus backs right up into the corner. Something his corner told him not to do.
Well, maybe it's his fatigue factor, and he's going to look to counterpunch now.
I don't think Jason Wilness has taken a backward step all night long.
No, he never does. And that's what I said earlier. he has one style. There's no surprise how Jason Wilness is going to fight, but he's just so effective and so good at this pressure fighting and counter fighting.
He's just stalking Simon Marcus around the ring. So what's your message if you're in the corner of Simon Marcus right now?
Well, it's just going to have to be to put something together. If the problem is when Simon opens up too much with his hands, he's leaving his chin way too high and his hands too low. So Wilness has the advantage in the punch exchanges. In my opinion, he's going to have to stay outside, keep kicking, and hope to land a good knee, maybe some good front kicks on the outside, but this inside fighting of Wilness is just too good right now.
By far the best weapon for Simon Marcus has been knees.
A lot of good left kicks too, but they just don't seem to be powerful enough to slow Wilness down.
You can see the redness under the right arm of Jason Wilness. That tells the tale of what those body kicks have been able to do. And now Wilness right where he wants to be, inside. Just over a minute to go here. This fight still could be up for grabs, no doubt about it.
No, this is a better round. Even though Simon's fighting backwards, he is landing better this round.
Body shot there from Wilness. Simon Marcus answers with a low kick, couple jabs. Marcus switching to southpaw, back to orthodox.
Both exchanging good body punches.
30 seconds left. Oh, and a left hand connects from Wilness. Does he have enough energy to follow that up? There's a low kick.
That's what he does well, mixes punches and his low kicks.
And a 1-2 from Wilness. And now they'll let it all hang out as we go to the bell. And that will do it. Both men feel they have won it. Do we have a new world middleweight champion, or will Jason Wilness remain on top? The ultra close decision when we return live to Copenhagen, Denmark. Look at that.
Yes.
Live from the Brabanthallen Den Bosch, it's Glory 41 Holland. High power from the high towers in a heavyweight contender tournament featuring American knockout monster Xavier Vigny and experienced Brazilian Anderson Silva. Furious featherweights and the grudge match between Chai Lewis Perry and Hesty Gerges. Glory 41 Holland, live from the Brabanthallen Den Bosch, May 20th. Don't miss it.
GloryShop.com is your stop for all things Glory Kickboxing. Represent your favorite world-class strikers and get your own t-shirts, hoodies, hats, training gear, and more. Join your favorite fight club and get your Glory gear today. GloryShop.com. Tradition, style, glory.
Glory 42 Paris heading your way Saturday, June the 10th, featuring a welterweight championship rematch. Cedric Doumbé of France faces Nikki Holsken of the Netherlands. Tune in Saturday, June 10th for Glory 42 Paris. Welcome back to Copenhagen, Glory 40, and the middleweight championship of the world in the books. Joe, a lot of highlights.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of highlights, but it's a lot of the same type of action. But it was Simon Marcus who started off really good at being active, threw a lot of left kicks, some good knees, staying on the outside. But as the fight progressed, Wilness was just walking through that volume, countering right back, landed some really good low kicks, some good body punches, some good hits to the head. So it was that Simon trying to stay long, use his kicks, where Wilness just, his pressure styling seemed to be a little bit too much for Simon as he continued to block him down and counter right back.
Looking on social media, it seems like everyone has it 3 rounds to 2, but half the fans have it for Wilness and half the fans have it for Marcus. Here's the way the statistics show the story. Strikes by round. The first 2 rounds to Simon Marcus, but after that, Jason Wilness closed the gap in a hurry.
But you need to remember, we're also looking at damage and who was doing more damage. The left kicks of Simon were a lot of times off of the arm of Wilness, but every time Wilness countered, he was doing well and doing damage. So you can see from the strikes absorbed, you know, it was Wilness really attacking the head, where Simon was really focusing on that left body kick, which a lot of times landed off the arm.
Without further ado, the official decision, here's Tim Hughes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecard. Our 5 ringside judges give us back a split decision. Here now are the totals. They score this bout 48-47 Marcus, 48-47 Wilness, 49-46 Wilness, 49-46 Marcus. And our 5th and final judge scores the bout 48-47 for your winner and new Glory Middleweight Champion of the world, Simon Marcus. Here to present the belt, our Chief Executive Officer, John Franklin, and our Managing Director of Sports, Mr. Cor Hemmers.
It was as close as it could possibly be. Joe, your reaction to Simon Marcus winning the middleweight championship of the world.
Yeah, and that's a great win for Simon Marcus, but you can't take anything away from Jason Wilness because that fight was really close, and I'm happy to see a 4th fight. But congratulations, Simon Marcus, bringing the belt back home to Canada. I'm sure the Canadian fans back home and Canadian kickboxing are very excited to have this belt back in Canada.
The months away from family and friends, the hours every day in the gym are worth it tonight for Simon Marcus.
Simon, congratulations. I can tell you're pretty emotional over this win. Describe your emotions as you have this belt around your waist.
God is great. You know, it's been a hard road to get back to the title. I put everything I had into it. From the moment I lost the title, my mind was focused. It came close, but I thank God for all the glory today.
It was a very competitive match today. Were you ever hurt by Jason Wilnes' power?
I hurt a little bit, you know. He landed some good shots. I know I landed some good shots. It was a close fight. Honestly, it could have went either way, but I felt that I controlled the fight a little bit more. I landed the cleaner strikes, hit the body a lot, and I was rewarded.
Belgari was in here calling you guys out after his fight. How do you feel about that?
Bring it, boy. I'm not afraid of nobody. I am the one back on the throne. Tell Belgari to come. No problem.
Congratulations, Simon.
Simon Marcus improves to 46-3-2 and is now a two-time Glory middleweight world champion.
And it was a tough fight for him, and just shows that he has still so much to learn in the kickboxing rules. And even though he's so experienced, he's got so much room to grow, and just an amazing moment for Simon Marcus in Canadian kickboxing.
Simon Marcus truly is the one tonight as he reclaims the middleweight championship that he lost last year to Jason Wilnes. Joe, your final thoughts on what has been a great night here in Copenhagen.
Well, I'm very impressed with Yusri Belgari, the way he controlled himself, the way he stayed at long ranges, really mixed up his strikes really well. So I am excited to see Belgari and Simon. We saw Nicholas Larsson do a great job today in his hometown. Got a good victory, now 2-0 since his return.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, the new middleweight champion of the world, Simon Marcus. For the entire Glory Kickboxing team, including my broadcast partners, Whitney Miller and Joseph Valtellini, I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you next month in Holland. May 20th, live from the Brabenthal in Den Bosch. It's Glory 41 Holland. High power from the high towers in a heavyweight contender tournament featuring American knockout monster Xavier Vigny and experienced Brazilian Anderson Silva. Furious featherweights and the grudge match between Chai Lewis Perry and Hesty Gerges. Glory 41 Holland, live from the Brabenthal in Den Bosch, May 20th. Don't miss it.